So, as we said, first thing we'll look at in terms of setup, which is sort of the red line here now, where the sort of the shoulder line there, sort of back of your collarbone there and your neck. So the sort of shoulder blades is in front of your toes there. There we're getting back on your toes there. Just a bit more of a kind of balance. We want the weight to feel a bit more kind of middle of your arches of your feet there. So you've got an equal balance between the front and your back of your feet. Okay, a lot of people, especially sportsmen, they tend to get this sort of dynamic position on the balls. They can sort of spring around it. Again, when you play football, you'd be on your toes so you can move quickly and get from side to side. So it's a very kind of like sportsman-like setup. Unfortunately, in golf, it doesn't always help you because you end up getting too much weight on the toes. And if you watch me go on this one here now, you can see sort of moving a bit further forward there towards the golf ball, your head kind of going down. And then because your head's going down now, your arms are naturally going to go up over your right shoulder. What we'll see on this one, when we turn, the arms just went a bit too far behind you, which we'll probably go through a bit more detail as we go through in terms of sessions, I say. But yeah, from that position now, legs going quite a bit active, but say more footballing type movement. And the weight now is moving sort of this way towards the golf ball, okay? Now as you start coming back down, you can see the weight going even further forward. You can see where your hands now quite in front of your chest there, clubs coming back down into impact, very much outside the shaft at this point. You can already see there the shaft basically dissecting the golf ball where it started off. This right foot now is kind of going forward and everything's kind of on that toe position, causing that shank potential, okay, where the club just shoots off at right angles to the right. This one here now, you can see the arms going a bit further behind you because you haven't sort of gone forward as much. And if you're used to kind of going this way, the arms go up. If you then sort of stay here, now your arms get further behind you a little bit, and that's something you have to sort of maybe just relearn. A lot of these things, a little bit, okay. That will just probably just start eventually happening because you'll find yourself quite restricted. That's why your back's a bit short, you see, because where can you go kind of thing, you've got nowhere to go. But as your arms start coming back down here now, you can see as you start coming back down, the hands and arms now more in front of your chest. As you start dropping the arms down here, see with the shaft now coming the golf ball, the shaft now is always staying this side of the golf ball, it doesn't get outside the line there at all. As you come back in the golf ball, we get a nice strike and we can just turn in and around that left. And if you look at the right foot movement there, how much your right foot now is not as much off the ground, whereas this one, it's like whoop. So your weight is just going forward on the toes. Your hands now have come back to where that green line was to start with. Look at your hands here, they're outside that red line. So if we sort of look at that in terms of relation, we started, your hands initially started inside that red line, okay, and inside the green line. They are going to go forward a little bit, but this one here on the right hand side, okay, you've only just gone forward a little bit there, where these, they kind of go out quite a lot, don't they? So that's the hands from the top of the backswing here now, putting the power on, then like whoa, shove, and the hands then going outside here too far outside the line. Again, the shaft, as we see, because of that, because your hands have moved in this direction, the shaft has moved in that direction, the head now is over here somewhere. There's only one part of the club you can really hit, unless you pull the club way left into your left hip pocket, and you sort of see the chicken wing now as the arms going this way, then the body trying to react to that. And what that will generally create is that kind of shape shot with a longer club, like sort of 7s and 5s, and maybe the driver especially, okay, potentially getting that slice. Now you've got a slightly stronger grip, like I said, which might compensate a little bit towards that. At the moment now, we haven't seen any hook shots, so we can keep your grip as you are. The only thing from me grip wise is the grip pressure, not squeezing it quite as tight as you were, okay. But at least this one here now, the arms are kind of working up and down, always staying in and around that green line, you see. So you're swinging the club basically under your shoulders, almost like a kettlebell swing, You're sort of swinging a kettlebell there, so you wouldn't want your arms to be out there, because now it's going to, bloody hurt your back in there. So everything's kind of staying in and around. You're able to rotate a bit more around onto your left heel nicely. And again, I think using those T-pegs at home, get some feedback on the ground of where that club is going, so you can see you're striking through there. If the outside T-peg here gets hit, you know the club has moved over into that direction, and you'll get instant feedback from that. And again, always start off, again, whether it's at home or even on here, maybe your first 10 or 15 shots as a warm-up, always start off with small swings so you can guarantee it. You want to say to yourself, right, the first swing, I guarantee it will go through, even if it's a 10-yard little chip swing, and then just get it longer. And if you want, you can sort of do continual swings back and forth, keep it going without stopping, because if you do that, that will show that your balance now is staying nicely in the middle of your feet there and rotating around you correctly. If the weight goes on the toes and you do continual swings, you'll probably fall over and you'll struggle to keep the swing going. In fact, if you're going this way, you'll be like, whoop, whoop, and you're going to do it, okay? So it's just a good way of practicing that, just to get the feeling of how that club kind of curves through that gate. your club was basically coming from this way across to the left, you either hit the hosel and shanked it into the corner on the right hand side, or you have to sort of pull your arms in, and a lot of times the way you'd adjust from doing that would often hit the ground behind the ball, as we said, and hit the ground for a lot of people. The bad thing, hitting the ground behind the ball does no good to anyone, especially this time of year now when the ground's just soft. So better setup. We sort of summarise how clear all these lines and get rid of it clear there. Better setup in terms of your shoulders over your toes a bit more. Don't make sure I know, but you get the idea. And now we're swinging around there, getting this right hip and right shoulder to rotate away a bit more. Okay, that's your swing thought at the moment now. Okay, by doing smaller swings, your arms now you can see are sort of falling down a bit more this way rather than shoving out this way for in your mind trying to get speed. The speed is going to be put on sort of from around here down to the bottom. Okay, we don't let the club doing too fast from here, so when we get down to about here is now we start putting the speed on. Like I say, skimming a pebble, you sort of stand back there very nicely, you sort of swing your arms through, and then the speed comes at the end. We're not trying to. Speed up here is wasted, and generally just throws you off course. It's like going into a corner, fast into the corner, you come out slow and probably skidding in the gravel. You want to come into the corner nice and slow, and then it's acceleration through to the side, and that's what's going to give you the distance and in some ways a bit more control of the golf club. Make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent, good stuff, buddy. Right.